Hi, you're welcome once again to my channel. If today is your first time, kindly like this video, subscribe, share with family and friends. In this video, we'll be talking about some confusing words in English. Let's begin.
Let's look at everyday without a space and everyday with a space. Everyday without a space is an adjective that means common or ordinary. The word often directly precedes the noun it modifies, such as when we say that something is an everyday activity or an everyday habit. Examples: 1. I need to buy a new phone for my everyday business transaction. 2. The best lecturers explain concepts using simple everyday occurrences. Now, everyday written with a space. This is an adverbial phrase that means each day. An adverbial phrase is a group of words that functions as an adverb. It is used to refer to repeated actions or occurrences. Unlike the adjective everyday usually follows the verb it modifies, such as when we say that we pray every day or eat every day. Examples: 1. She goes to the market every day. 2. I sweep the compound every day. Let's look at the difference between lose, and loss. Kindly take note of the pronunciations. L-O-S-E is pronounced lose. L-O-O-S-E is pronounced loose. L-O-S-S is pronounced loss. Lose. Lose is a verb that means to fail to win, to misplace, or to free oneself from something or someone. Its past tense is lost. Examples: I hope he does not lose his job. He is always losing his car keys. Now, loose is an adjective that means not tight or unbound. Its past tense is loosed. Examples: she has put on a loose dress. This wheelbarrow has a loose wheel. Loss. Loss is a noun. It means having something or someone leave or be taken away from someone. Examples: we made a loss on the deal. The doctor's retirement is a great loss to the community. Interface and interface. Kindly take note of the pronunciations. Interface and interface. Interface is a noun. It is a biological term that implies the period of the cell cycle during which the nucleus is not undergoing division, typically occurring between mitotic or meiotic divisions. Interface is also a noun. It explains a point where two systems, subjects, or organizations meet and interact. Examples: we need a clearer interface between management and the students. There is an interface between tradition and technology. In some cases, interface can also be used as a verb. Examples: you will interface with counterparts from neighboring countries. The school's computer system can interface automatically with the application system. In computing, it is a device or a program enabling a user to communicate with a computer. Example: a graphical user interface. Complement, written with an I, and complement, written with an E. Compliment, written with an I, is a noun. It is a polite expression of admiration or praise. Examples: they paid him a high compliment. I would take that remark as a compliment. In some cases, compliment can also be used as a verb. Examples: I must compliment you on your ability to handle a very difficult situation. She was complimented on her performance. Complement written with an E. As a noun, complement means something that completes or makes perfect. Examples: the rare old brandy was a perfect complement to the delicious meal. A good wine is a complement to a good meal. As a verb, complement means to complete. Examples: a bright scarf complements a dark suit. This belt complements the dress better than that one. Now, let's look at the difference between advice and advise. The ise ending of advice is pronounced like ice, while the ise ending of advise is pronounced like the eyes in realize. Advice is a noun. It is the opinion or recommendation offered as a guide to action or conduct. Example: I shall act on your advice. It is also a formal notice of financial transaction. For example, a remittance advice. Advise is a verb meaning to give counsel to, offer an opinion or suggestion as worth following. Example: I advise you to be cautious. All together and altogether. All together is a phrase meaning in a group. For example, the wedding guests were gathered all together in the auditorium. All together is an adverb meaning completely or entirely. For example, when he first saw the crowd, he was altogether confused. Back seat, written with a space, and back seat, written without a space. Back seat, written with a space, is a noun, which means a seat in the back. For example, it is okay to take a back seat in an auditorium. The one-word adjective backseat is appropriate when it describes where something is. For example, the backseat area is cramped in this model. Let's take notes of the following words and note their differences. Accent, accent, written with an S and a C, and accent, written with an X and an S. Accent is a noun. It refers to the manner of pronunciation of words. For example, your brother's accent is different. Where did he grow up? In some cases, accent can be used as a verb. When used as a verb, accent means to emphasize or draw attention to. For example, Irene used makeup to accent her face for the beauty pageant. Ascent with an S and a C is a noun, which means a climb to the top of a mountain or a hill. For example, we watched the eagles ascent until it disappeared over the trees. Ascent with an S and another S can be used as a noun or a verb. In both cases, it means approval or agreement, either the act of giving or the expression of the approval. Example: My parents assented to my going to the party on Friday. The lecturer's assent meant that we could work together on the project. Began, written with an A, and began, written with a U. Began, written with an A, is the simple past tense of the verb begin. For example, we began the journey early in the morning. Began, written with a U, is the past participle of the verb begin. It is used with helping verbs to form the perfect tenses. For example, the lecture had begun only minutes ago, but it felt like hours had passed. Breathe and breath. Breathe is a verb we use for the process of inhaling and exhaling. For example, let's stop and take a minute to breathe. Correct. Let's stop and take a minute to breathe. Incorrect. Breath is a noun that refers to a full cycle of breathing. It can also refer to the air that is inhaled or exhaled. For example, I took a deep breath and tried to relax before answering the question. Descent. Descent, written with an S and a C. And descent, written with an S and another S. Descent is used to label actions, things, or people that are respectable, appropriate, satisfactory, or kind. Descent, written with an S and a C, is used when discussing ancestry. For example, Ghanaian descent. Descent, written with an S and another S, means disagreement. Diffuse and diffuse. Diffuse is both a verb and an adjective and refers to the spreading of something or making it less concentrated. Diffuse functions only as a verb and means to remove the fuse from something. Fiancé, written with an E, and fiancé, written with an E and another E. In English, the mark on top of the E is called acute accent. This is what we refer to in French as accent aigu. Fiancé, written with an E, is the man you plan to marry, or an engaged man. Fiancée, written with an E and another E, is the woman you plan to marry, or an engaged woman. Let's move on by looking at the difference between lay, lie, and laid. Lay is a verb which means to put or set something down. Lay requires a direct object. As a noun, lay refers to the general appearance of an area of land. For example, the lay of the surrounding countryside. Lie, on the other hand, is a verb which means to be in or assume a horizontal position or to make an untrue statement. Lie does not require a direct object, whereas laid is the past tense and past participle of lay. Whom and who. Whom is used to refer to the object of a verb or preposition. If you can replace the word with him or her, use whom. Examples: I do not know with whom I will go to the market. To whom was the letter addressed? Who is used to refer to the subject of a sentence. If you can replace the word with he or she, use who. Examples: Who would like to go on vacation? Who ate my food? Impact and impart. Impact is a noun, which means the striking especially of one body against another. For example, the force of the impact knocked the breath out of her. It also means an effect or influence. For example, the pandemic have had a significant impact on education. In some cases, impact can be used as a verb. For example, the shell impacted 20 yards away. The high rates of unemployment have negatively impacted the lives of the people. Impart, on the other hand, means to make information known or to bestow a quality. For example, the lecturers imparted a great deal of knowledge to their students. Preservatives can impart color and flavor to a product. Enquire and inquire. Enquire means to ask, while inquire is used for formal investigations. In the UK, the two words are used interchangeably, although inquire is the mostly used word for formal investigations. In the United States, inquire is the strongly preferred word in all uses. Few and little. Few expresses a small quantity. It is used for countable nouns. Examples: the lecturer called me a few days ago. There are very few dogs left in the area. Little also expresses small quantity. It is used for uncountable nouns. Examples: Philip has little time for his family. Will you have a little milk with your tea? Stationary, written with A, and stationary, written with E. Stationary, written with A, means fixed, immovable, or unchanging. For example, the cars were ordered to remain stationary. Stationery, written with E, refers to the collection of papers, envelopes, and other things you would use to write letters or cards. For example, the company offered complimentary stationery to people who wished to write letters. Finally, anyway and anyways. Anyway is an adverb meaning regardless. Anyway without an S is correct. Always use it without the S. Anyways with the S is considered a slang and is part of non-standard, colloquial, or informal.
I hope you enjoyed this section. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.